If you're watching this right now, take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you isn't meant to scare you, but to wake you up. Life is short, not in the poetic, cliche sense that people say when something tragic happens, but in the real, measurable, heartbeat counting, second ticking sense that we often ignore. Every day you wake up is a countdown, and the truth is most people don't realize how little time they have left until it's gone. That's the reality I had to face one day when I looked at the calendar and realized another year had passed and I couldn't even remember what I'd done with it. If you've ever felt that pit in your stomach when you realize how fast time slips away, then this video is for you, because I'm not just here to motivate you, I'm here to make you think, to make you act, and to make you live. So before we go any further, hit that subscribe button, because I make videos that aren't just about success, they're about meaning, purpose, and the mindset that builds a life worth remembering. Now, let's talk about how to spend the only currency that truly matters, time. There was a moment in my life when everything felt repetitive. Wake up, go to work, scroll through my phone, eat, sleep, repeat. I was existing, not living, and I think deep down, that's the trap most of us fall into. We confuse being busy with being alive. We fill our calendars, but not our souls. We chase promotions, but not fulfillment. We buy things we don't need to impress people we don't even like, all while the most valuable thing we own, our time, is slipping through our fingers. And when I realized that, I decided I would never again spend my life like spare change. I would invest it like gold, because that's what time is, gold that depreciates by the second. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Once it's gone forever. And that thought changed everything for me. It made me re-evaluate every single thing I was doing, every person I was giving my energy to, and every goal I was chasing. I started by asking myself one simple question: if I died tomorrow, would I be proud of how I spent today? That question hit me like a storm, because the answer, at that time, was no. I was living like I had forever. I thought there'd always be a someday. Someday I'll travel. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll say what I really feel. But someday is a myth that keeps you trapped in tomorrow while life passes you by today. So I decided to kill someday and replace it with now. I stopped waiting for the right time and started creating it. I started taking risks, saying yes to the things that scared me, and saying no to the things that drained me. I began to understand that life doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards intention. The longer you wait to live, the less life you have left to live. Most people don't fear death, they fear the realization that they never truly lived. We think we're afraid of dying, but what we're really afraid of is dying with regrets. And regrets don't come from failure, they come from inaction. They come from knowing you could have done more, tried harder, loved deeper, but didn't. I've seen people on their deathbeds, and not one of them ever said, "I wish I'd spent more time scrolling." Not one said, "I wish I'd worked more overtime." What they said was, "I wish I'd spent more time with my kids. I wish I'd taken that trip. I wish I hadn't been so afraid." That's the haunting truth of life. It doesn't ask if you're ready before it ends. It just ends. So if you're waiting for a sign to start living, this is it. I learned to value time by losing it. You see, time doesn't announce when it's leaving. It just does. One day you're 18 and dreaming. The next you're 30 and doubting. Then suddenly you're 50 and wondering where it all went. I don't say that to depress you, I say it to wake you up. Because every day you waste is one you'll never get back. And yet, most people live like they have a lifetime guarantee. They don't. None of us do. You could have 50 years left or 50 minutes. You don't control the length of your life, but you do control the depth. And that's what spending life wisely really means. It's not about how long you live, it's about how well you live. So, how do you spend life wisely? You start by spending it on what truly matters. Not what's urgent, not what's trending. What matters? The moments that make you feel alive. The people who remind you who you are. The work that aligns with your purpose. I stopped giving my best energy to things that didn't deserve it. I stopped being available for everything and started being intentional about my yes. I began treating my time like it was sacred, because it is. When you start saying no to distractions, you start saying yes to destiny. And that's when life begins to shift. When I began auditing my time, I realized how much of it I was wasting. Hours scrolling social media. Nights spent worrying about things I couldn't control. Days given to people who drained me. It's easy to underestimate how much time you lose to the small things. But the small things, done daily, become your life. And I didn't want a life built on autopilot. So I made a decision. Every hour of my life would serve a purpose, either growth, love, or rest. If it didn't fit one of those three, It didn't deserve my time. That single shift changed everything. Growth meant doing something every day that challenged me. I started reading again, learning skills that could build my future, facing fears I used to avoid. Because the truth is, if you're not growing, you're decaying. Life doesn't pause. You either move forward or fall behind. Love meant showing up for the people who matter, really showing up. Not just texting them once a week, but being present, listening, making memories. Because when you lose someone you love, no amount of money or success fills that void. And rest meant giving myself permission to slow down. We glorify hustle so much that rest feels like laziness. But it's not. It's fuel. You can't pour from an empty cup. And burnout steals just as much life as idleness. There's something powerful that happens when you start treating your time as your greatest investment. You begin to see everything differently. Suddenly, you're not afraid to say no. You stop tolerating half efforts, half love, and half dreams. Because you realize you're running out of halves, you need wholes. Whole effort, whole love, whole purpose. Every time I'm faced with a choice, I ask myself, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, I don't let it steal 5 minutes. Life is too short to fight small battles. It's too short to hold grudges, chase validation, or wait for approval. One of the hardest lessons I learned was that not everyone you lose is a loss. Some people are meant to be chapters, not the whole story. And when you hold on to people or situations that no longer align with who you're becoming, you're spending your life on something that's already expired. Letting go isn't about weakness, it's about wisdom. You only have so many days. Don't waste them trying to convince someone of your worth or fighting to stay in a place you've outgrown. If life is short, then every moment is sacred. Every sunrise is a second chance. Every conversation could be the last one. That sounds dark, but it's freeing because it gives meaning to everything. You start to notice the beauty in small things, the sound of laughter, the warmth of sunlight, the quiet moments that used to pass unnoticed. That's what living wisely really looks like. It's not about constant excitement, it's about constant awareness. Presence is the purest form of wealth. There's a quote I love: the goal isn't to live forever, but to create something that will. And that's exactly what I aim for now. Whether it's through my work, my words, or the people I impact, I want to leave a footprint that outlasts me. Because legacy isn't built in one grand act, it's built in daily choices. Every day, you're writing your story. The question is, are you writing something worth reading? I remember sitting alone one night, staring at the ceiling, realizing that if I died that day, the world wouldn't know who I really was. Not because I wasn't trying, but because I was too afraid to be seen. I was too afraid of failing, of judgment, of being misunderstood. But here's what I learned. The greatest tragedy isn't dying, it's never showing up as who you were meant to be. So I made a promise to myself: I would live so fully that when my time came, I'd have nothing left to give. If you want to spend life wisely, stop measuring it by time and start measuring it by impact. Don't ask, how long do I have? Ask, how deeply am I living? Make your presence felt. Make people's lives better because you existed. That's what wisdom looks like in action. It's choosing to build, not just breathe, to love, not just exist, to leave things better than you found them. And here's something no one tells you: when you start living this way, time slows down, not literally, but perceptually. You feel more of it, because when you're present, a minute feels like an hour, and when you're distracted, a week feels like a blur. The more intentional you become, the more life you feel. That's the paradox: slowing down actually makes life feel longer. I stopped chasing the future and started living in alignment with my purpose now. I realized the best way to predict the future is to create it, and the best time to do that is today. Every single dream, every goal, every change starts with one decision: to stop wasting time and start owning it. The clock is ticking whether you move or not. The question is, are you moving towards something meaningful, or just moving? Sometimes, we wait for a big moment to wake us up: a loss, a diagnosis, a heartbreak. But you don't need tragedy to start living intentionally. You just need honesty. Be honest about what's stealing your time. Be honest about who drains your energy. Be honest about what you really want. Because you can lie to others and still survive, but you can't lie to yourself and still live. Life is short, but it's also wide. It can be full if you let it. Spend it creating, loving, growing, exploring. Spend it laughing until your stomach hurts. Spend it building something that makes the world a little better. Spend it being the kind of person you'd be proud to meet. Because at the end of it all, the question won't be how long you lived, it'll be how well you lived. And when that final day comes, and you won't remember the years. You'll remember the moments, the sunsets you watched, the people you loved, the risks you took, the fears you overcame. Those are the things that make life rich. So don't wait, don't hold back, don't sleepwalk through your own story, because one day, it'll end, and when it does, you'll want to know you lived it fully. So if there's a dream in your heart, chase it. If there's someone you love, tell them. If there's a fear holding you back, face it, because this right now is your life, and it's happening whether you're ready or not. The clock is ticking, the world is moving. The question is, are you living, or just existing? I don't know how much time I have left, none of us do, but I know this: I'm done wasting it. I'm done waiting for perfect conditions, for permission, for someday. I'm living now with intention, with purpose, with love, because life is short, and I want mine to mean something. So here's my challenge to you: for the next 7 days, treat every single moment like it's your last chance to experience it. Put your phone down and look at the sky. Tell someone you love them. Do one thing that scares you, because when you live like that, you realize the beauty of this fragile, fleeting thing we call life. And once you taste that kind of living, you'll never go back. Because the truth is, time isn't something you have, it's something you spend. And when it's gone, it's gone. So spend it wisely, spend it boldly, spend it in a way that, when you look back one day, you can say with peace, I lived, I really lived.